Are you guys ready for a shitty ass game? Before we get into the ass part of the game, let's get right into the backstory. Here we go. Assassin's Creed is a very fundamental game. It was one of the birthplace of the original Xbox 360 games. You play as a very legendary assassin, Altair, and you're very limited to the things you can do. The game was the beginning of the Assassin's Creed genre. It was a stealth type game. You basically just assassinate people and progress the story through that. The more times you assassinate people, the more it progresses. The more you learn about why you're actually playing the game. The game doesn't have a very implemental story until you further play the game. The first game is kind of a struggle. It's kind of aged like fine wine. It's not like amazing, but it's still good to drink a lot of. Assassin's Creed basically starts off Desmond Miles, who's a bartender. He gets hijacked by Abstergo Industries, which is a pharmaceutical company led by Dr. Warren Vivek, Lucy Stillman. They use him to use his genetic memories to launch the Animus, which is this thing, how he lives Altair's life, which is amazing. You know, it's basically like the Matrix, but just for assassins. You play in the 13th century, which is 1313 AD, I do believe. Stopping the evil forces from the Assassins to the Templars. That's really all the game's focused mentally on. And you're trying to get these relics. The Apple of Eden is the only thing that I know of that you get from the first original 3 games. There's actually, the first 3 games consist of actually 5. You get Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, and Assassin's Creed 3. Those are probably the great games. If you want to play Assassin's Creed, play all 3 of those. 4th one is really good too, but it kind of furthers into these other Assassin's Creed story type games, and it's just something that you can totally miss and totally be fine with. After all of those games, you're trying to find the Apple of Eden, and then we get to Assassin's Creed 3. And we play through all that. There's a lot of cool stuff, and if you want to know more about that, I can leave a review down in the bottom or walkthroughs. I'm not going to try and take all of your time today with this review. So Assassin's Creed 3 basically ends up, and spoilers, I wrote it down because I just recently beat all the games. Desmond retrieves the key to open the Apple of Eden, which he got in Brotherhood. Which he killed Lucy for too, because that's kind of the spoiler part too. Brotherhood was like the last story type game, and then it turned into 3 Revelations. I don't really remember a whole lot about. It's just kind of old Ezio, ziplining and shit, doing whatever he wants. He goes into the Ancestors' inner sanctum, which basically is like this pedestal, because there's a solar flare coming towards Earth. Only one person that can stop it is Desmond, the guy that has all the ancestral memories in his head. So you play all through these games, you get the keys. There's these 2 first civilization people that are saying, oh, if you put this key in, you can save the world from post-apocalyptic, and you'll be the only survivors if you don't do it. So obviously Desmond does it. He dies. He vaporizes into ash, and the 3rd game ends, and everyone lives. So I assumed from this that the games would be over. The next year, Assassin's Creed 4 was released, and honestly, it wasn't a bad game. Basically, I don't even remember what that game was about. You basically are initiated, and the game starts from there. They do this cloud computing, which apparently can tap into Desmond's mind, which I think is dumb. Abstergo is now a gaming company now. Ever since October 30th, 2012, 6 games have released. I think that includes the Chronicles, because they are technically games in the Assassin's Creed storyline, but if we want to get technical, 3 games have been released since Assassin's Creed 3. And then they stopped doing multiplayer after, I think, Unity. So now we go on. We're skipping those 2 games because they're so broken and horrible. Maybe one day I will review them. But right now, we're going to be focusing on Assassin's Creed Syndicate, or what I like to call Ass Syndicate.
The first impression of Ass Creed is right off the back, you can tell there's a massive upgrade to visuals, and cutscenes seem very visually stunning. The first mission, intrude Evie and Jacob Fry as they are attempting to kill people for literally no reason. Also, I'd like to say this is the first Assassin's Creed I played on next generation consoles, so I'm a little bit biased towards the graphics. Me thinking to myself as playing the first beginning missions, this game isn't as ass as I thought. The more I played, the more I saw its flaws. The controls are complete ass. This is also the first Assassin's Creed where they replaced the parkour mechanics with the A for up and down free run. Assassin's Creed 2, you could just hold the RT button, press A to go up, and you would go up, or down and tap A to jump off the roof seamlessly. And this clunk of you have to hold RT and hold B to go down, which in its defense isn't bad when it comes down to the gameplay, and visually is kind of cool, but this up and down shit is just dumb. The story follows Jacob and Evie Fry as they try to liberate London from the Templar, and that's it. No evil villain that attacks you every chance you get. The story is more bland than two old people f***ing on a Tuesday. I'd rather see a go eat shit and piss gold. The only redeeming factor is the game's graphics are absolutely amazing. The controls, of course, suck ass. Man, I can't get over these awesome graphics. This is also the first Assassin's Creed where they have added levels, perks, skills, and other things. When playing the game, I noticed that outfits that you can have is Ezio's outfits, which I was like, wow, you can play Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2? But this makes you extremely OP, not to mention that you actually have to download the Ubisoft app to access this shit, which is really a complete waste of time and a lot of space on your hard drive. The game works just like the rest of them. Sneak, complete optional objectives, and kill the target. In this game, the combat mechanics have also changed. They don't have you lock onto a character either, so you're constantly attacking people that are blocking and taking damage because they are blocking. You literally can't dodge the incoming move as well. Also, if the enemy is a higher level than you, then you are most likely dead. There are knives and pistols for ranged combat, and they work and feel pretty good. The combat is pretty one-sided and feels stale at best. The game throws a lot of perk challenges to keep the game more interesting, but fails as I didn't care enough to complete the same thing over and over again. The cutscenes are nice, and of course you get to meet historical figures in the game like Charles Dickens and Alexander Graham Bell, who created electric bombs. Yeah, that seems very real, of course. I know it's just a game, but to introduce this weapon when the game's almost half over, not to mention the game is very short, there's lots of boring and pointless quests. Like late into the game, you're trying to take down the person who steals money from a bank. So you go into the ghetto because why not? And she takes a dog, which constantly barks and makes enemies attack you if you get too close. Oh, this is a groundbreaking. Let's put this into the game. It's just so dumb. You also get a zip line, also created by Alexander Graham Bell. This is the most ungodly easy. Basically, you can just press the LB button and go to the top of any building with a zip line. Also, going zip lining from building to building is a little fun, but really, you don't ever need to use the wall climb ever again. You can also use this to air assassinate people and other things. I mainly use this to get away from enemies, put buildings right next to each other like in previous games. Also, they make stealth very less rewarding because they don't like to come and get you. You can also craft items in this game. Crafting high-level weapons, you have to find a locked chest to get a unique item, which is very random. And finding that exact chest, as there's multiple locked chests in each district. Also, you have to pay £10,000 for that item, which is just ridiculous. You get to see all of London in its glory, and which is probably the best thing about this game is its visuals. If you struggle enough to get through the game, you get to see London in the World War I era. It comes out completely out of nowhere, but this game is very uninspiring and has very bland gameplay. So wait a second, we started off in the mid-12th century, then with Ezio in 1470 to the 1510s, Assassin's Creed 3 in the 1780s, then we get to 1868 in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. You'd think the game would continue to go forward. No, we go from 1912 to 43 BC, and now the Odyssey is on its way. We're going back to 404 BC. Soon enough, they're going to be so far back that you can play as Adam and Eve, and they're the first assassins, and you have to kill Satan. I can just see it now. A loincloth made from a leaf, and the Assassin's Creed hoodie from a leaf as well. I feel like they can't continue with an original storyline and have to resort to going farther in the past each time. They probably will continue to hit all the major blights throughout history. This game has a lot of glitches. Well, kind of like these. This game is just a f***ing bunk of f***. Then, what do you do after you do all these bland, pointless quests? You finally get this guy named Starrick, which is apparently just this guy trying to take over London, which you've been liberating all of these different areas to do that for absolutely no reason. You don't have any contact with him till the very end of the game. So you get to Starrick, you steal some tickets to get into the ball, and you kill Starrick to basically save London. You steal the keys to get to this thing called the Shroud, which is a hidden vault underneath, you guessed it, Buckingham Palace. You get down there and he has the Shroud already. I assumed I could just air assassinate him and boom, it would be over. As I'm coming down, the cutscene activates, he attacks me, chokes me out. All of a sudden, you now control Evie to come save Jacob, which is kind of cool being able to control both characters, as all the other missions you can only be playing as Evie or Jacob respectively. Evie attacks Starrick, Evie gets choked, Jacob gets back up, Jacob gets choked. This repeats until he's almost dead. They both get choked. I assumed they die here, the game is over. But nevertheless, here comes Henry. Meanwhile, I've stabbed this dude like 50 fucking times. Evie and Jacob both get up, and you simply just tap X to kill him, making this the worst boss battle I've played in a very long time. Like, how could they even call this a boss battle? You literally stabbed the living shit out of this one guy. And then in the end, you kill the bad guy, and now you have the Shroud, which basically makes you immortal. So, I was like, yeah, I get a Shroud. I get the Shroud. Finally, after 10 hours of this game, you kill the bad guy, and you put it back in the vault, and you leave.
Are you fucking kidding me? I wasted 10 fucking hours grinding through this game, liberating all these stupid areas so I could continue the game, get the Shroud, save London, and they put it back. You find out where it is. You don't control anything about trying to get the Shroud in future basic time, and they get their asses handed to them because Abstergo's already there. Basically, Juno comes in, tells you that the other people, they're brainwashed and all this other shit. It doesn't even follow the original storyline. Like, I would be fine with, like, how they somehow tied Desmond into this, or Juno comes and fucking tries to end the world and has superhumans or whatever. I just don't understand the game. Assassin's Creed doesn't make sense anymore. This game, it's just shit. It's ass is really what it is. Honestly, Assassin's Creed isn't what it used to be. I really wish it could go back to the original storyline. Find some way to tie in Juno and tie in the Apple of Eden and stuff like that. But nevertheless, they're going on their totally different path. I don't even know how to explain Origins because I've never really played it. And with Odyssey on its way, you're not even playing as an assassin. You're not playing with the Hidden Blade because they added a DLC pack already that has the first blade. And honestly, it used to be a distinguished series. And now, really, people get hyped for all these cool, like, you're in Egypt, now you're in ancient Greece. Like, it's just, it's not Assassin's Creed. Slap a different name on it. They can't even come up with they can't even go back to the original storyline. Not to mention, I can't even fucking understand what happened in the last 4 games. You know, I could barely understand what was going on in the first 3 Assassin's Creed, but now that I'm older, I can kind of understand it, but this just sucks. You know, I'm not going to buy Odyssey unless I hear really good things about it. Maybe one day I'll actually play Origins, and maybe you actually get to be, it might be actually a good game. If anyone's a super hardcore Assassin's Creed fan, can you understand, if you've played all the games, can you tell me what the hell is going on? If I had to really give this game a review score, I'd give it like a 3 out of 10. It really, honestly, was very boring. The last game I played that was like new aged, was like brand new out of the box. The last game I played was completely better than this. Fable Anniversary was better than this. It's totally a different game. It's not even Assassin's Creed. It's just a totally different game series. It really should be over or rebranded underneath a different thing. It's not an assassin anymore. You're basically being a Roman gladiator. Basically, this game is not what it used to be. And really, if I had to give a review, that's what it would be. This game is ass, and if you really want to play the Assassin's Creed after seeing everything and everything that I taught you, don't play anything after Black Flag. I will be doing you a favor. Unity was a glitchy mess. Assassin's Creed Syndicate was a glitchy mess, and it's fully updated when I played this game. So they have no excuse on why they didn't fix the patches. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this review. Another video coming up just like this in 2 more weeks. I hope you guys check that one out over here when it's released. And you subscribe up there. And make sure you check out previous videos and more playlists over in this left-hand corner. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Thank you.